get some guys back doing more stuff.
Of course, you're really enthusiastic and happy to be back as well.
Oh, without a doubt, I love it. And I think going into year one, in your first practice of year one, there's so much that goes into it, and you're just trying to manage it all and make sure you have a smooth practice. You get to year two, we're a little bit more of a well-oiled machine. I think the guys know what to expect from a practice standpoint. They really have a much better grasp of our schemes. We can focus on the details, and we can really go back and get to our younger players and start to really develop those guys and get them better a lot quicker.
And from a personal standpoint, you're more comfortable as well.
Oh, without a doubt. It's good being back out, and having real faith in our coaching staff of the jobs that they're doing. We've had 12 months now to get our stuff implemented. Our coaches understand the practice plan, the schemes and things and whatnot. So I'm able to kind of delegate a little bit more and get my eyes on more aspects of the practice. I think so.
Coach, talk about Cody's progression and what you've seen so far. Just day one, but
day one,
over the past,
Cody from a year ago of putting this offense in a year ago to where we are today, I don't know if I could be more pleased. He's really operating at a high level. I think he's got a real sense of confidence about him, but yet there's a chip on his shoulder, and he's really hungry, and he wants to get better, and he wants to play at such a high level that it rubs off on his teammates, and that's exactly what you want. You've got a fifth-year senior quarterback who works as hard as Cody works, and that sends a great message to the rest of the football team.
And with that, Cody was talking about some of the hype, and kind of just we're worrying about just football. How do you address some of that?
Well, how we addressed it today with the team is we don't play a football game for 6 months, and the key for us is to focus on today and how we're getting better today individually, how we're getting better today as a team, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, all the aspects that go into it. And hype, the game, training camp, all that stuff is so far down the road. We can't worry about that stuff. We needed to focus on today, and I thought all in all as a team, for the most part, we really did a good job of that.
What goals did you establish with your guys, things that at the end of these spring practices after the spring game you want to walk away and say, hey, we did this, we got better at that?
Well, there's always nuances within schemes that we're going to look at that we want to improve upon. Obviously we're replacing some key players, with Leonard being gone, with Hayes being gone, with Buck being gone, with Nelson being gone. Some real J.R. Tavai, some really critical guys that we need to start to figure out who's going to fill those spots, who's going to fill those roles, and then ultimately our ability to finish. And we're going to have a challenge at the end of every practice that really is going to exemplify the final 2 minutes of every game, and who can we count on, who's going to be those guys that can make those plays at the most critical moments. And the defense came out today. It was a best of 5, and the defense won the first 3 plays and got off the field and won the game. So hopefully that idea of our ability to not only just be excited to take the field at the beginning of practice, but be at our best at the most critical moment at the end of practice, and that's something we're going to continue to work on.
Is that something that you implemented as a result of some of the late game struggles?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. You, as a staff and as a head coach, you analyze every aspect of your program. And I look at a couple really tough losses at the end of games on the last play of the game that had a huge impact on our season. We win those 2 games, we're playing for a conference championship. And so you think about the ramifications of that. Of course we're going to address that, and we have to get better at it.
It's early, but what have you seen from Trey Madden in his recovery?
I think Trey's great. What I forgot about Trey is how big and physical he is. He's lower half. He's really put together. He's a physical runner. I think he and Justin complement each other really well because Justin has got such great speed and cutting ability, and then Trey's got such of a hammer mentality. I think they're going to be a great complement to one another. And then I forgot as well with Trey, he's got a very high football IQ, his quarterback background from high school, and his ability to catch the ball. So all in all for Trey, first day back, there's always going to be some natural hesitation there. But he looked pretty good to me.
Where was Bryce Dixon today?
Bryce is dealing with a student conduct issue.
How's some of the new guys that are Isaac Whitney, Ricky Town, how have they been doing?
Well, it's day one. It's hard to nail that. I thought, for the most part, those 5 guys, Isaac, Roy, Chuma, Ricky, Cam Smith, they kind of just got into the flow of practice, which is about it. This is all you can really expect them to do in day one. It didn't look too big for them. I thought they flashed in some areas. You know, Ricky made a couple throws. I thought Shuma had a couple really nice pass sets. Isaac made a couple plays down the field. Then they had their moments where they didn't know the play as well as they would have liked and whatnot. But all in all, first college practice for those 5 guys, I guess about as good as it could go.
Do you have any further update on Bryce and his standing with the team?
No, I don't. Not at this point.
Steve, it looked like Anthony Starr really didn't do much.
Yeah,
today.
Anthony's got a foot, I'm going to just call it a foot injury for right now. We don't know all of the specifics yet, and so we're being really cautious with it. And so that was the reason we held him out.
Lamar looks like he's trying to come back.
I guess if I could, point out just a couple things that really stood out to me, Lamar was one of them. He seemed like a different player to me than what I had seen all of last year, from spring ball into training camp and into the season. He looks really confident. He's moving really sudden. And we knew he had a good off-season conditioning program, the winter conditioning. And he came out today and looked like just really a different player. I was really encouraged by that. That jumped out to me.
Noticed Chris Hawkins was playing a lot of safety today. Is that a long-term thing?
Well, we're gonna dig into it here for a little while. We have to give him a chance to kind of go through some of the growing pains there. We tinkered with it a little in bowl prep, and then it really wasn't fair to throw him into a game doing that stuff. So we're going to give him a chance to kind of go through some of the growing pains at the position. Chris's strength is his football IQ. He really gets the game, and we think him at safety that's going to play to his strength even more.
That's Steven.
Steven is another guy who had a really good winter conditioning. He's put on about 10 pounds. He looks strong. Made, again, quite a bit of plays today. We're going to look at him some on Thursday as an outside receiver. He played pretty much exclusively in the slot today. We're going to give him some shots outside Thursday. Adoree will play offense on Thursday. He played defense today. He'll play offense Thursday, so that'll give Steven an opportunity to get outside a little bit more.
How do you feel like your offensive line's meshed with Bob these last couple of weeks?
I think it's been really good. Max is an awesome leader. When your center is played as much football as Max has played, and probably the benefit of it is Max is on his 4th offensive line coach in 4 years. So he's able to really be to give a good perspective to the younger guys of accepting the new coach, and you just don't have time to kind of wonder. You just, here we go. It's a new coach. The schemes haven't changed. The system hasn't changed. Let's get moving with it. And I think they've done really well. I'm excited about our offensive line. I really am. I mean, the depth that we have there is as good as I've seen here and anywhere I've been in a long time. And from our younger players to the vets to guys coming off of injury. Jordan Simmons today, Jordan Austin, Nico Falla I thought looked really good today. He's another guy who had a good winter conditioning program and came out. He's looked as good as I've seen him. So a lot of positives up front.
How about Damian Mama? Because it looked like he dropped a few pounds.
Yeah, Damian's in great shape. He's lost some weight. He looks quick. He's still a very big human being, and when he gets his hands on, he's got huge hands. He kind of latches on. It's tough to get off his blocks, but I just think the confidence with Damian, you lose some weight, you've played some football, you become more confident. Same with Vianney, Toa. That group's going to be good. I don't think just next year. I think for a while. I mean, that group's going to be really good for us.
One more question, guys.
With Wheeler being out for a while, will Toa, pretty much be planting that left tackle?
I think so. I think that's what we'll do. We're playing Nico over there as well. I mean, Nico, like I said, looked really good. So we'll tinker with that some. I want to give Chuma a chance to kind of just develop at right tackle here for a little while. I think back to Winston Justice. When Winston first came on board, we started him out at right tackle his first year and then moved him over. So we'll see how Chuma does. But all in all, we've just got good depth, and so we're able to do that. But then we're also able to move some guys around to experiment with some things, because the guy that's the number 2 isn't much different than the guy that's the number 1 right now, which is a real luxury that we have.
Thanks, Coach. You got Coach Connolly over
Morning,
here.
guys.